May I take this opportunity and pass my greetings to His Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, Mr. David Mabuza, the Deputy Chairperson of SANAC, Ms. Steve Litseke, the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Zweli Mkhize, and all other ministers in our midst, the Deputy Minister of Social Development, Ms. Hendrietta Bogopane-Zulu, Dr. Oba Ama, the Chairperson of SANAC Trust, the members of the Executive Council across all provinces, our members of National Assembly and members of Legislature, the Executive Mayor of Garsibande District Municipality, Councillor Muzishira, and the hosting Executive Mayor of Govenbeki Local Municipality, Councillor Ngonono, and all Executive Mayors present, our speakers, Chief Whips and Councillors in our midst, our traditional leaders and civic organization leaders present, leaders from our religious organization, leaders from business community, ladies and gentlemen, Lochan.
Deputy President, let me take this opportunity to again congratulate the Sixth Administration in securing the trust and confidence of South Africans in taking the country forward. Deputy President, yours is to lead in the executive to the best of your ability, execute the mandate given by the people of this country, and protect and promote the interest of the people. Ours is to continue to support all of you in the mammoth task and to also hold you to account on your obligation as active members and patriots of this country. Just a few days ago, during his keynote address at the Gibbs Ethic Barometer launch, Chief Justice Mogoeng said, and I quote, "Ethical leadership is most important when dealing with the issues we are facing as a country. However, there is no point in discussing ethical leadership theoretically. There is a need to reflect on practical ways to the situation and challenges that confront us as a country. Every business, every stakeholder in the country is a corporate citizen with rights and responsibility," close quote. It is in these words, Deputy President, I want to remind members of plenary on our obligation, which is the National Strategic Plan 2017-2022. I want to remind the House again on the Agenda 2030, on SDGs and our National Development Plan. And most importantly, for our work towards HIV-free generation, which means we are ought to remind ourselves of our history in the HIV response, the progress, the achievements, and the critical aspects of challenges that remain unaddressed and that could frustrate our future as a country. Chairperson, 2019 marked 38 years into the HIV response globally. This timely meeting, this plenary, joins the global call of increasing action as a collective, which is a necessary step in achieving the NSP goals. This plenary is timely and relevant to help us reflect on how we keep on our global and regional commitment and how we find the expression to the local response. We are ought to be aware of the pace on progress in reducing new infections, increasing access to treatment, and ending AIDS-related death. The UNAIDS Global AIDS Update report showed a mixed picture. In some countries, making impressive gains, while others experiencing rises of new infection. Deputy President, globally, around 1.7 million people became newly infected with HIV in the last year. We've also seen 16% decline since 2010, driven mostly by steady progress across the Eastern Southern region.
Thank you for affording us the opportunity to provide plenary with the latest developments on HIV and AIDS and TB. First, on the progress on HIV and TB numbers, let me begin by reminding us of the scale of the burden of disease that HIV and TB in our country, as well as some of the international targets we have signed up to, and where we are relative to these targets. According to the Human Science Research Council of 2017 survey, 7.9 million people are living with HIV in our country. This is 1.2 million people more than the HSRC estimated in 2012. As we know, prevalence is a product of the new infections as well as those that already have had HIV. In terms of the numbers of the new HIV infections, the HSRC estimated that in 2017, of those greater than 2 years of age, the incidence was 0.4%, which was down compared to 0.85% in 2012. So there's a slight reduction there, which I think is a good trend. These rates, whilst encouraging, are still high. Of concern is that the new infection rate of those between 15 and 24 years is still at 1%, which is slightly down from 1.2% in 2012. We wanted to lower still. These data mean that one of the main reasons that prevalence is increasing is that people living with HIV are living longer. When you do the calculations, sometimes when we talked about reduction in the prevalence, but not necessarily because there was less infection, it was because more people had died. That's the complexity of the calculation. So currently, 5 million people are on antiretroviral treatment, of which 4.8 million are in the public sector. While the number of new infections is declining as a result of a number of social and health interventions, and I think we've had a whole report now being tabled, this decline is too low. It is estimated that there are 230,000 new infections in 2017. That is lower than what it was in 2012. It was 370,000. UNAIDS targets for South Africa is 100,000 or less by December 2020. We've got to really shed all the rest of the additional infections until we get to 100,000 infections. That's not the end, it's just a stopover so that when we move on, we can show that the decline is evident. This means that we must do more to prevent new infections, especially amongst young people, if we're to meet the UNAIDS targets.
Earlier this year, the Department of Health reported that just over 838,000 people tested positive for HIV from the period from January to December 2018. This is the highest incident rate recorded in Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, Eastern Cape, and Mpumalanga, where we are today. Mpumalanga is sitting at 76,007 of new HIV positive cases. As we've said before, one HIV infection is one too many. Working with our partners in civil society and in the business community, it is possible to reverse the HIV pandemic that has almost affected 7.4 million people in South Africa. we need to continue to put practical and decisive measures to reduce this level of incidence, as we know how disproportionately and adversely it affects our people, especially young women. As government working with our partners, it is our responsibility that women and girl children are empowered with relevant information that can serve and save their lives. There is a close relationship between the development of a society and the empowerment of women and girl children. The reverse is also true, that women disempowerment in any form or manner, like gender-based violence, disadvantages societal development. This is why, as government, we welcome the speedy arrest, speedy prosecution, and sentencing of those who harm and violate the basic human rights of our women and girl children. There can be no excuse to justify gender-based violence. There is no culture, there is no tradition or religion that can be used to justify femicide or the wanton murder of women because of the fact that they are women. This is the major reason that we strongly support the work of Takuanri movement. I urge all of you to also work with this movement and endorse their campaign to protect the human rights of women, to protect children, to protect lesbian, bisexual, to protect gays and transsexual communities.
That also as men, as fathers, and also as women, then we also engage, in the life of the journey of our children. That's part of the mentoring. Hence, one of the programs, the YOLO program, where we empower our young boys, and also our young girls, for them to be resilient. I think that is key. Then, hence, one of the issues, the men championing change. That's where we are now as men. But also, it also tells about us, once our mindset is changed, then we'll be able to protect and also to address the ills in our communities.
Let us welcome the Deputy President and his entourage by clapping hands. Thank you very much. You may be seated.
Takuanri men's movement. Takuanri is a vendor expression for Let Us Stand Together. And we launched in 2015, and we placed this program in the office of the presidency, specifically the deputy president. So it was launched by the current president in 2015, and we have four main pillars with this program. The first pillar, which is speech to men's parliament, was to institutionalize organizations working with men and boys, and by that we meant that we need to organize as organizations, because if you look at the data, the stats around femicide, we just spoke about them at the plenary, we are seeing that they're actually on the rise. And part of the reason, Deputy President, is not that work is not being done, but the challenge has been that we're working in silos. And also I think as government, through the district development model, we've appreciated that, our lack of integration of our processes is having an impact on the kind of outcomes that we should be having. Because we are doing a lot of work, but because we are not coordinated, we are not coherent, we find ourselves not having the adequate response. So when we say that institutionalize men working with organizations working with men and boys, we identified the Men's Parliament Speaker as a program that will bring us together, because fortunately with Parliament, it's a public office. It hosts all of us equally. And after viewing several options, we identified Parliament as a platform that can bring us together. And the second pillar was on the Men's Charter. The Men's Charter is what informs our engagements, so that ultimately, as we engage from ward, from streets, but in districts, locals, as well as in provinces and national, we ultimately come up with a clear document that guides the psychosocial response of men of South Africa on why we are mobilizing as a country. And of course, the third pillar is 365 days program of action that speaks to the work that we are doing on a daily basis, not just 16 days of activism, which are going to be launching on the 25th until the 10th December, but of 25th of November, but we speak to daily work that needs to be done to respond. And last but not least is acknowledging men in terms of just awarding of men and acknowledging men who are social developers and investors in building society.
Our fellow men, starting with the Deputy President today, I'm feeling high, so let me pass everything through him. Deputy President, the women of South Africa are tired. The women of South Africa are tired. The charter said to us, South Africa belongs to all who live in it, united in our diversity. Right now, you are squeezing us out of this country. We can no longer go to the malls without fear. Even when you want to go to the bathroom, because of the long passage of the mall, you must even ask for a lady, so you just are in a group to go to the toilet. We can no longer go to the parks. We can no longer walk in the streets of South Africa. We can no longer even live in our own homes. We can no longer enjoy that relationship where somebody promised and said, I love you. The love becomes hate in a split second. And therefore, South African women have no country unless South African men take the responsibility. I'm not going to re-agitate. We know that the numbers and the prevalence of rape are going up. We know that femicide has become an order of the day, and it cannot be that as a country, every single time we must be the leaders in something. The leaders of the prevalence of the highest HIV positive people in the world. We now the leaders of the people that abuse alcohol. The leaders of children with fetal alcohol syndrome. The leaders now of gender-based violence. Yes, it's an international problem, but the statistics has proven that South African men are very violent. So we're convening and we are saying to yourself, we can't and we can no longer fight the fight alone. We have marched, we have spoken, we have cried, we have screamed. There is nothing that we have not done. And hence for us at the Department of Social Development, this 16 days is dedicated to men. And we are saying to South African men, it's time, Deputy President, that South African men take responsibility and give us back our streets, give us back our malls, our restaurants, our homes, and give us back our country. We are part of this country. we want to live in it. God saw you were lonely, made you from soil. I'm not, but I read the Bible as a Christian girl. God made you from soil and saw that you are lonely. Adam took a rib, which is a very strong piece, a bone, to make a woman. Gave her strength to carry you, to give you support, to give you a partner. Now the question I want you to go home with out of this parliament from South African women is, Adam, do you hate yourself that much? Because for every time you do wrong to the girl child, you do wrong to the women, you are hurting yourself, because women come from yourself. But you must always remember that it is because of women that you are here. And we acknowledge as South African women also that we will make the change in the manner in which we raise the boy child. Deputy President, as the patron of this particular program, we would like to see you more, but also we would like you to lead us and continue to guide us as a man. We are two women in social development, and we lead sectors that are mainly male-based. We are doing very well with the traditional leaders, Deputy President. 8,480 of them have been trained on a 5-day training on all the social structural drivers. The only province that we are facing of is in Mpumalanga, that was Natal. So you can be rest assured, Deputy President, that even AMACOs are now able to deal with all the social structural drivers as outlined in the NSA. As the Deputy President stands up to come to the podium, I would like the Deputy President to just turn to my left. So I promise them I'll deliver this word of hope to you, and I have just done that. And thank you.
Thank you very much for considering it's nice to meet you.
I've never seen in this country, since the advent of democracy, the way men were mobilized like you have done. Men must stand up and do what is right. Out there is an outcry. Young children are not happy. Young girls, women are not happy. And the blame points one direction, men. I don't know what kind of a society you want to build as men. A society where the rights of children are being trampled. A society where the rights of women are being trampled. It was very painful to see women marching in the streets talking about men. Maybe it's high time to change. I am happy that you have volunteered to come to this parliament, to be part of this parliament, to be part of a program for change. I want to commend you for that you have taken it upon yourself to stand up and be counted among those people who want to see change. And change must happen. Today's men these young boys and whatnot, they try and give women money as a way of saying, no, I love you. Okay, the woman will agree and say, no, okay, fine, no, but let's try. Let's try this relationship and see. But when the woman is unhappy, she does not have the right to say, no, I want out of this relationship. Then if she says, I want out of this relationship, you said, remember I gave you money, I gave you that, I gave you that, I want this thing. Men don't do that. Men don't do that. When you buy your girlfriend something nice in good times, this is a gift. A gift is never taken back. Yes or not? Gift and card, okay. Monkey or you say but you do well without paying. Amanda without paying. I'm a loser and there you food. Mama decided to car. You can't do it and you pay. Please accept it. Women have the right to say no. Why do you think they don't have a right? Can't. If we can deal with that, the manner you socialize your young boys at home, you must remember that these children are the same. A young boy and a young girl are the same. They must be treated equally. Young children must feel safe when they are amongst us. You must feel safe. Today, Abu Madu never cheat. No, I'm not Abu Madu never done. Abu Puti Bachigi. Bachigi, I was swap. No. So, this is not the South Africa I know. We fought hard for our freedom. But we are not all free. Women are still fighting for their freedom. And this time our oppressed by men. They are being killed by men. No. You must say no. No is no. But I see volunteers here. You've given yourself to this task. You are ready to stand up. Let's move house to house. Let's think about this. Let's report incidents. Abantu ababebayo. You must want to must worry us who did this thing. And you must be one of those who will stand up and find out and get that person arrested. There is no cover up. And here is the protect Umuntu in the wrong. Let us stand up and build a society that we can look back and be proud of. A society where our children can grow in peace, safe. A society where our women can live and be happy. I feel embarrassed when the community say, we want our malls. That means they can't go to the malls free. They don't feel safe. They don't feel safe. When they see a man, they must run. Put it as a shoni langa, wesilisa fanele balele. What kind of a country is this? But abantu baseMpumalanga ngabathemba ngiyathemba ukuthi nilayisumele ayingenzeki lena ngaphela intangala ngizwile nje ukuthi abantwana abanye abancane abaphila ne-albinism bayabulawa. I'm happy that the law enforcement agencies have taken their rightful place. Azingenzeki lezi. Let's protect our society, let's protect our communities. And I'm sure with our efforts combined collectively, we can turn this tide. And I believe we can do it. Thank you very much. Thank you.